Hello, Plannerets. Now, if you've been feeling unsure about how to start your 2026 Hobonichi planners, this video will help you ease in without any pressure. I'll show you how I've been warming up using old planner pages that I used to have back in 2024, which layouts feel good already, and also how I'm setting up the cousin and the original even before January starts. So, if you want real inspiration instead of perfect spreads, you're in the right place. Let's go. Hello, Planets. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are here live with me right now, make sure to say hello in the chat and let me know where you're tuning in from. And also, if you are watching on replay, you know I love seeing your comments. I actually hang around for them and look at that little notification number on my YouTube app. So make sure you are saying hello as well and letting me know which part of the world you are tuning in from. So let us go and check who's here right now with us. Hello there, Cindy. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you being here so much. Susan, nice to see you. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me. Now, you have to forgive me. I am feeling a little bit emotionally, oh, I don't even know the word. Um, Anxious, I guess. Just it just hit me this morning thinking about just my son, my younger son. He's 16. He'll be 17 at the end of this month, and just all the different things that come along as a teenage boy, as well as someone who's on the autism spectrum. And I do feel a little bit of, well, it's coming now. It's a little bit of tears coming up. Just mum stuff, so nothing wrong. Everything is good. Just thinking about the future. So hopefully you can keep me company. And if I do have to start a little bit, just yeah. I don't know why I'm really quite emotional. I just love my family so much, and I want the best for them. And I just want to make sure I'm doing all the good stuff. So I thank you for being here and joining me. And I'm not not ready. I didn't expect it, so I don't have anything to wipe my tears. So hang on, I can see paper towels. So bear with me. So I'm sure this is not what you expected from a planner live stream today, but we're gonna get through this. And oh, now I've now I've dropped tears on my top. So so yeah, just normal mum stuff. I'm sure those who have little ones, grown-up ones, you just want to make sure you're doing the best you can for them. Okay, so let's get back into it. So today we're going to ease into the 2026 planners. Now you're probably going, hang on, what's up with the covers? I had these covers from 2024. So it's just a black one with baby blue lining. And so now it's very plain, but I have an idea I want to do. So I'll do a separate video for that. I won't have any spoilers, but I'm thinking of doing something with the covers. So thank you, Cindy. Because look, most of the pages in the original and the cousin don't start until January 1st. And now the weeks, 1st of December was when the weekly spread started. So I've been able to go into that and start using it. So, but what I've done, as for those of you that have been following me, I have torn up pages from my unused Hobonichi planner from 2024. So then that way I can see, you know, what layout this is working, what I like. Been checking out some of the, you know, Hobonichi YouTube videos out there and seeing what I like, I don't like, and hopefully by the time January starts in these two planners that I have an idea. And so, because you know how sometimes those first few markings of a planner can get quite, you know, the anticipation. You want to make sure, even though we say we don't want things, you know, it's not about perfection, it's about progress, and how we want to make sure that, you know, your planner can be whatever you want it to be. All right. But the only planner I've officially started is in this week's, which began, like I said, on the 1st of December. But in the meantime, as you can see here, I've cleverly torn up some pages from my previous planner, but I put a nice printed cardstock, so then at least, you know, it doesn't look like it's just been torn off. And the same with my Hobonichi cousin right here. So I tore up the pages of the weekly spread as well as the daily. And so if you have been following along, at least in the last couple of weeks, you would have seen me using those pages, and I've just covered the old days and dates with different, you know, black markers, as well as been using my correction tape to cover up the old dates on there. Okay, so let me take a breather. I hope you you are well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go flip through each planner, and then at the end I'm going to start setting up some of my new planner pages for the week of December 8th, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, December 8th to 14th. So hopefully you can hang around with me and get some inspiration and ideas for your own planner. Now, of course, you do not have to have a Hobonichi planner to also get some of the ideas and apply it to whatever planning system you have. So I know sometimes it's hard to see your own planner set up when someone else is using a different size, a different brand, or a totally different system. But I know I always like to watch others. It's like, oh, I didn't think to use that in mine. All right, so let's start off with the Hobonichi weeks. Let me put these two aside, so then that way we can have a nice clear desk. And so this is the Hobonichi Weeks 2026 in the black with the cute white dots and little hand-drawn, I guess, or hand-painted little crosses there. I have used the Traveler's Notebook pen loop, the leather pen loop, and in here I am using the Pilot pen Kakuno Madoromi in the light pink barrel. I did swap out the fine tip. So this originally had a gold fine tip. The Kakuno Madoromi only came in fine. They didn't come in extra fine. But then when I did swap out the nibs, this was a just a standard Kakuno. It's also a fine, but it does write finer than the one, the original here. So that's the one I use for my mood logging. Margie's, hello, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Nice to see you. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Let me just go and pop that. Whoops, come back over here. All right, appreciate you being here with me today. All right, so then inside, I did do a flip through of the planners. So if you wanted to see that, the original version, and before I started really planning into it, I'll make sure to pop that YouTube video link in the description. But here it's just, you know, cut up some laminated sheet to size. So this is like a credit card or a debit card size laminated sheet. You can get any plastic packaging, round off the corners, and wrap up some of your favorite washi. Because I actually don't travel anywhere. I don't do I work from home, and I don't do any planning outside of the home, but it's a nice little decoration in the pockets. And I think this is the card that came along with the Hobonichi weeks. It talks about the artist, and because it's a nice bright pink color, it's nice to have that there and just decorate the pocket of my Hobonichi plastic cover. All right, now of course I can't get that in there. And then just a cardstock with different Happy Planner classic stickers, photos of me and hubby. This was a few years back. And then there's the boys. So he'll be 17 at the end of the month, and he's 18. And this was us in our cute little yellow raincoat. All of these raincoats were actually double extra large. So I bought them. So the size of these three originally was the size that my husband was wearing, and I sewed it up. I cut it up so then it fit the boys and me, and so I was very proud of that moment. But of course, because I sewed through the plastic, it was just cheap raincoat plastic covering. It didn't last too long, but we just needed it for that little adventure. um, Irene says, "Hi everyone, please don't cry. Sending virtual hugs." Crying is actually good, so I do love having a good old cry, because it does help. I know, it releases different type of hormones. Crying is good, and it's not something that I should hide. I know I shouldn't hide, because that's the way I'm reacting and how my feelings are at the moment, and my tears are valid, because I'm just I know I'm a loving mom, and I'm a concerned mom, and so thank you for saying that though. Anyway, Irene, I appreciate it so much. So decorate the front cover of your whatever planner you have, so then when you do open it up, it is something that brings you joy. And then I've just got this nice big floral washi sticker on there. Now let's go have a look. Oh, and then this of course is just, I had a roll of individual floral washi, and then I just covered up the front cover in this different, I've just laid it out differently, and filled out the empty spaces with the floral there. So then it's just, when I open it up, it's a nice happy colorful dashboard. I haven't done anything with the calendar itself. Now for the future log of the Hobonichi weeks, because it starts in January, again what I did is I cut up the a section of the 2024 Hobonichi weeks. I cut up this December's one, because I didn't use it for pretty much most of the year. And then I just I guess, what did I do here? I think I glued it to a blank piece of cream paper, and then just attached it. And then the back of it, I just put a nice little washi to cover up, because it had, it had print on it. And then the way I'm using my Hobonichi tracker, let me just see if I can make it not so bright. Let's see. Okay, that's better. Okay, so then what I've done is I am going to log in these little color codings. So green is a great day, orange is a good day, yellow is meh kind of day, and blue is either I've had a tense or anxious day, and red or pink is a sad or angry day. And so of course it's not as if the whole day was great, or the whole day was sad, or the whole day was anxious. It's just the overarching mood, that the one that stood out the most. And here it is so far in the first week of December. So I had a couple of great days there. I was hitting the mark, yes, I've got my plans together. And so I'm happy to say that the first week of December was a pretty good, great week so far. So that's how I'm going to use the future log of my Hobonichi weeks. And then hopefully, as I fill out each day with the color coding, I'll be able to see patterns happening for the week or the month, and then be able to plan a lot better, that if and when that time of the month or that time of the week I am feeling maybe a little bit lower, sad, tense, then I can plan accordingly. That is one of the great reasons why habit tracking, mood log tracking has been a pivotal game changer for me, is because, I can be kinder to myself. And so if it is a bit of a tougher week, then, I'll plan accordingly and not put too much pressure on myself like I used to do, thinking that, come on, still you've got all these tasks and to-dos on your list, let's do them. But if and when, I'm feeling energy-wise, emotional-wise, mental-wise, the capacity isn't a full one, then I can plan accordingly as well. Right, now the calendar spread itself. So here's the first week in the Hobonichi. Again, because I'm using my weeks as a mood log journal, that's all I'm putting in it. So really, because I get quite anxious, I get sometimes low, I get in my own head too often, I have been a lot better. I haven't been stuck in it for a long time. I think I've built up a lot more resilience. I bounce back a lot quicker. It is because of my planners and how it has helped me, not just for productivity, tasks, bills to pay, picking up the kids or whatever different special occasions, but it's more so as well for my own mental and emotional well-being. I have accepted that emotions will hit me throughout different times of the day, just like today, just like 5-10 minutes ago. And then I can note it down, journal about it. But I know in the past I used to just work past it or work through it, and then that's when I have bigger emotional meltdowns or breakdowns. Okay, so this is just a fun way. So this is just a cute quick color coding, but for the actual calendar spread itself in the Hobonichi weeks, I am doing a so like a visual, of what happened in the day. So I am using my Kina Prints stickers. So this is a Lola character, so little cute black hair with the black fringe or bangs. And then I'm using my Tombow Fudina Soke brush tip marker to make the overarching word: tired, big win, busy, planning, good, stickers, stationery, and then using a felt tip pen to write down the rest of the words. So tired, lots of big wins, so busy, planning, good, stickers, and then guess what? That reflects the mood that I was in based on these color coding. Okay, so there's that one there. And then it moves into the weekly spread. Okay, so originally this Hobonichi 2026, the weekly spread started on December 1st, Monday. But because I had a spare Hobonichi weeks from 2024 with lots of blank pages, I tore off a couple of weeks worth of weekly spread, and then I just washi taped it in the spine. So now, of course, if you are thinking of getting Hobonichi for 2026 and it's your first time, or you don't have any blank pages, what I've done in the past when I first started using the Hobonichi is, if you have a printer at home, is just print a blank spread, and then that way you can do a practice run. So you may not be able to do the actual planning in there yet, but do some practice run, or just draw up, get a blank piece of paper, draw up the spread. Of course, you may not want to draw up the grid line, but then seeing the layout and playing that, playing with the layout that way. So then, you can go and, see which layout you like, do some experimenting, try out some layouts that you've seen someone else do. But that's how I've been easing into my Hobonichi 2026 plan. So I started it Monday 17th to the 23rd. Hello, Brenda. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. So Irene says, I have been itching to get the Hobonichi weeks. So yeah, so it's a nice little, if you are, the only thing I'd say with the weeks is if you are, like to have lots of space for your normal productivity planning, it may be a little bit too small. So if you write lots of your to-dos and tasks list, this may not be, the space may not be enough. Thank you so much for joining, Brenda. Appreciate you. Big smile. Thank you so much. Okay, so like I said, yeah, it's not a lot of space, but if you know you're only writing, the top 3, then this may be enough. But because I'm not using it for productivity planning, but more so mood logging, this is enough space. It's not so daunting to try and fill up, a big spread, a big size layout. And so it's nice and quick for me. So in the morning, what I do is I have lined up a narrower column for my stickers, Kina prints again, representing how I feel. So this mood logging, majority of the time, is in the morning. So the first thing I'm feeling. I mean, sometimes, I do it later at night, as you can see here. I think some of them in the afternoon, 1:27 p.m. So I have the sticker. In this column, I write down how I feel and why I feel that way. And then here, what is it that I can do to make the day feel better? If it's a good day, what else can I do? If it's a little bit of an emotional day like today, then I'm going to make sure I'm doing all the self-care activities of making sure I'm resting, I'm getting myself outside for some sunshine, I'm taking a nice break and not putting too much pressure on myself. Hello, Ronnie Cat. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you being here. Whoop, let's quickly have a check this. Okay. Let's shrink it down and ta-da. Let's have a look. Excellent. Okay. And so here on the right-hand side column, I just do a mood graph, similar, I guess, to, same thing here. So this is a color visual. And this one is a nice line graph because I'm a bit of a math nerd. I love graphs because I am such a visual learner and I can process information a lot quicker when it is a visual. And so that just gives me, so this was the previous week meds tracker. So my blood pressure medicine, and then just I guess, summary of the week. And then this was November 24th to the 30th. Again, I've got the mood logging, meds, and then just a nice little sticker at the bottom there. And this was last week, okay? So I'm quite proud. I am crossing my fingers that, I keep up with this, that not like 2024, when it comes to March, I suddenly, fall off the wagon. But I think I know now how important it is to track my moods in the morning, because then it helps me plan a lot better throughout the day. Okay, so the mood was quite good. So it has had some great moments, and then been a good week. Okay, and then of course this will be the start of December 8th to the 14th. So I'll go and set this up a little bit later on. And I guess this is just a cardstock that I cut to size, put a little tab, little sticker, and then put some stickers on the blank side. And then I use it sort of like as a page marker, as well, I guess, as a pen board. I don't, the pen board that's from the Hobonichi, because it's a little bit plasticky, or it is plastic, I don't actually like to write on it because it feels like it's slippery, slidey. But because this is paper and it's cardstock, it feels cushiony, it's when you're writing with your fountain pen or your gel pen, it doesn't feel like it's slippery, slidey, if that is the term. Okay, so that is how I have been easing into my Hobonichi weeks. I'm loving it as is. I don't think I will change it too much unless, of course, I get bored later on in the year. So this goes into it does have the December pages already. So if you are thinking of getting the Hobonichi weeks for 2026, you can start it, pretty much right now, and you can even do practice runs on the pages on, if you get it, say, later on the week, you've got a whole blank week spread to practice a layout. Okay, so that's how I've eased into my Hobonichi weeks so far for the first few weeks of December, or the first week of December. And then I've got the back, I've got the page keeper that just it slides into the little pocket of the plastic cover. And then here I just these are also Hobonichi. Again, I purchased it back in 2024, but I've just got there in case I want to write down any notes, just loose random notes that I don't have space for in my weeks. And then the page keeper just keeps everything closed there. You've got the Traveler's Notebook pen loop, and then my Pilot Kakuna. All right, so that's how I've eased into it. I'm most likely going to keep that layout for the rest of 2026. Maybe just change, maybe the last column, maybe I can change that up. But this particular part of the weeks, it's I'm going to keep it as is, because it's nice to note down how I'm feeling in the morning and why I am feeling that way, and what is it that I can do to make myself feel better. Okay, so let me know, whoever's here in the chat, if you are a Hobonichi Weeks user, or if you're thinking about it, let me know whether you are using it or not. Okay, so then the next Hobonichi planner that I'm easing into, so let's start with the original. Okay, so like I said, I have an idea of what I want to do with this black cover, because it's very not me at the moment, because it's very plain, it's not colorful, but I've got an idea that is inspired by one of the current 2026 covers out there where people have decorated it. So keep an eye out. I might just do a impromptu live as I set it up, but at the moment it's plain as is. So it's the black cover with the baby blue lining, and then I've got the cover on cover to go and protect it. So then, because sometimes my desk can get dusty and markings on it, without the cover, I know that I'm going to make the black fabric dull with markings on it. Okay, so in the pockets, I've just got my do-it-yourself task card or prompt cards. I have created these morning journaling because I am going to be using the cousin, Hobonichi cousin, as my journal page. And so I've got my AM routine. So that's what I do, on a regular basis in the morning. And then for my morning journaling, I've just, sometimes I get stuck. What can I write about? Okay, what sort of things can I write about? So these are just some prompts. Today I want to feel what I need most. What would make today easier? What's my anchor for today? Where can I be kind to myself? One thing to remember, and what pace feels right today. And so really for me, what I want my morning journaling to be for me is just to stop and breathe and just take note of where I am in that moment. And then rather than, going straight for the task and to-dos, and then, mid-morning or mid-afternoon, it hits me that I haven't taken stock or note of how I'm feeling. So that's what this morning journal prompt. Sometimes, I don't know what to write about. So these are some of the things I can write about, and I put it, of course, I made it fun by putting, so this is laminated sheets, sticky note flags, and the labels using my label maker. Now this bit here, my anchor for today. So what type of things will help me anchor today? And guess what? I made an anchors prompt card as well. So keep things slow and steady. Okay. Protect my calm morning. Stick to my top three. Choose the next right step. Stay hydrated and take breaks. Speaking of hydrated, okay, and one thing at a time. Finish the important things first. So when I'm a bit lost, because I know, like I said, I have now, if you are part of my emails newsletter, I have now accepted that's just my being. Okay, I'm not diagnosed with anxiety or depression, but I have known it to be my anxious thoughts and my sad moments. I've known it as a passenger in my life for a long time, even when I was a teenager. Okay, so in the past, or well, at least most recently, I've thought, how can I get rid of it? What can I do to ease these anxious thoughts? That is just now, I guess, the way my brain is wired. I know I probably have ADHD tendencies. I'm not diagnosed, but I know I've seen, different things that I've seen others who have been diagnosed in their later life. I went, oh, I have that, and so that's where my planning has been able to help me um, not work through it, but work with it. Okay, and so my journaling, I know, is going to be one of the things that can be part of my daily activities that can help me work with those anxious thoughts, those low moments, those doubts that I have in myself, and the limiting beliefs. It's not as obvious nowadays, or as prevalent, whatever the word is, right? But it's still there. But it's through my planning with intention and adding fun things like making things like this and putting stickers and using colorful markers. Those are the things that's helping me. And so the anchors, these little prompt cards, will help me keep in top of mind what is it that I can do to be kind and compassionate and give myself some grace. So that's what that's for. And so far, again, because the daily journaling is not yet a habit that I've been into yet, so it's still a little bit, I've missed days, but that's okay. Like any habits, we need to keep at it. And then in the pocket, I have my cute little tiny weather stickers. These are digital stickers that I printed and used my cutting machine, and they are from Square Lime Designs. I don't know if I popped that in the description, but I'll make sure I do. So the Hobonichi weeks itself. So again, these are the planner pages that I ripped from my 2024. I've just sort of like glued them, popped a little pretty cardstock printed cover. And so I'll go through that in a second, but I'll show you what the 2026 Hobonichi is. I probably will just keep the cover as is with this cute little caravan and girl sticker that I bought from a friend of mine. She has a market and store with all these stickers and trinkets. I like the cream cover, and then that and seeing the Hobonichi Techo 2026. So I most likely will keep it at that. I won't add any more stickers to it. And this I haven't stuck down, so it still has the backing. So if I wanted to change it up later, I can do so based on, I guess, the theme or the color. And here I've got cute little pictures, Polaroid pictures of hubby and I and Zach. Speaking of the cute little devil. And then I printed this using my Nimbot B21 Pro photo printer. And so this one is different from the B21 original. This allows you to print in this sort of like a black and white grayscale heat printing. So that one's there, and you can get different photo paper, Polaroid, and different size, there's some circle ones, and again the keener prints here. So for those of you that have seen this flip through before, it's just I'm doing it again because I like flipping through my planner pages. So, but the difference is I have started it from the original flip through. I have started using the future log and the calendar as well. I don't think I'll do anything with the calendar section. Right, so originally, as I don't know if you can see, I have used correction tape. Originally, when I did do the flip through a few weeks back, I thought I was going to use the future log for my walking, skipping, and exercise tracker. And then I thought, because there's 3 different things I would track. And then I thought, I don't know if that's enough for me to keep it up for the whole year. And I'm afraid with my workout at the moment, I haven't been as consistent. So then I have thought, you know what, because I'm going to use this mainly the daily pages anyway, for the things I do, on a day-to-day basis, and majority of that is content creation. I thought I'm going to track all the different content that I post on YouTube and Instagram, and when I write my newsletter, and maybe when I do a blog article. I put TikTok there. I'm still, I don't know if I've missed the boat on that one, but I guess it's picking up, gathering momentum. There's a planner talk, hashtag planner talk. So I might want to go and, at least post some of my content there as well, take advantage of it and see where it takes me. But then this gives me an idea of how consistent I am with my live stream, with my videos, the shorts, the posts. So I will see hopefully a correlation with the amount of content I create next to the income that it helps produce for my financial household. Okay, so it's a nice little way for me to go, oops, Marianne, you haven't posted in the last couple of days. What is it that we can create and do to make sure we are visible? Because Instagram, TikTok, and as well as YouTube not so much, because the things you put on YouTube, they call it evergreen because it is a search engine. People can type in and then you can find things from 5 years ago, 6 years ago. But your Instagram, they are a fast-paced platform that the things that you create today, no one's going to scroll back. So it's important that I keep visibility and relevance to ensure that I'm getting views, because I am the main breadwinner of my family at the moment, and I want to make sure that I'm doing the best I can to create that visibility. So then you folks can watch me, follow me, check out my affiliate links, and as well as hopefully, of course, brands see my visibility. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use my future log for, is for my content creation. Now for you, of course, if you're not a content creator, you can use the future log for the things that you do on a daily basis, like all your habits and routines that you want to track. The reason why you want to track these things is you start to see patterns, you start to see your consistency, celebrate those wins. And then if you do miss a day or two, hopefully it helps you, motivate you to, get back on the horse, and then, at least start the habits that you want to build for 2026 in a more effective way. So then I'm looking forward to filling that out. Fingers crossed that I keep up with it, because, a lot of these things, it is an upkeep, and then you have to always constantly remind yourself to fill it in. Now the calendar spread for the Hobonichi original, I'm going to use it mainly for the things that relate to content creation. So when I go live, when I need to do my brain dump, the newsletter that I have to do, any collaborations I have with other content creators, anything to do with Instagram, YouTube, my shop, or anything like that. So more like the business side of things is where I'm going to keep all of that. So that's how I use it. Of course, if you do use a Hobonichi original, you would put in, appointments, special occasions, birthday, bills, subscriptions, anything that you need to be reminded of when you are planning your week. Okay, so that's the calendars. And the original, it is a daily, one-page daily spread, and it does not start until 1st of January. So I can't even move into here until then. And so it goes from the calendar to the daily spread. So what am I doing in easing into it? I have, like I said, I had a 2024 Hobonichi planner that I did not use for most part of the years. So it had lots of blank daily pages. So what I did is I just tore up, I tore up because there was December. I hadn't touched it at all. So I was able to tear up the 1st of this, well, I think I started this in November. Okay, and so that is how I'm planning to use the Hobonichi original even before the 2026 starts. And again, I'm starting to see already, layouts that's working well, how I'm going to fill out the blank pages. So let's just quickly have a look. So the daily page, for those who have not seen what a Hobonichi original spread, so it's got these, I think these 35 millimeter, or no, what is the grid size in millimeter? It's just 35 or 0.35 millimeter, centimeters. And in inches, do I have it in inches? It is whatever. So let me see, what is it in inches? 2 divided by 16 is 0.125 inches. So it's a small grid. So if you have big writing, maybe the Hobonichi grid may be too narrow for you. And so that's one of the things. Or you can take up 2 lines. So it's not, you're not limited to, or if you have a bigger handwriting, doesn't mean you can't get it. You might just have to take double lines. Okay, so that's how it is. It's got an appointment or time block from 5 a.m. to 3:30 a.m. And then it's got this faint little line. Sorry, my bright lights is just overexposing it. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little squares. I guess that would be your top priorities. Now, I have purchased the Japanese version, so the quotes on the bottom of these are all in Japanese, so I don't know what it is. But what I do is I just cover it up. Even if, I think I even had an English version in the cousin. I covered it up with some washi tapes. Okay, so it's just very plain. You can create any layouts you want. You can use time blocking. So the way I've been using it, I draw a little line. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit more. Okay, I draw in dash lines. I always love dash lines. I don't know what it is about the dash lines. It really helps bring the page to life. Originally, I used the left-hand side column for time blocking. I've changed that up because, again, I work from home, and there's really, I don't do a lot of appointments, like time appointments or timed tasks. So I'm going to use that more for my priorities. You'll see in a second. And here I will write down my top priorities, put a nice little dash border around it, and then all my different tasks, use washi tapes. And then, of course, if I do miss the page, I just go and decorate it, making it look like this cute little notepad paper that's sitting on top. Use my Tombow. What I've done here, because the date is incorrect, is from, or at least the day of the date is not applicable to, to the present moment, I just use my Tombow Fudenosuke brush tip marker to cover it. And then these little gel pens are the matte, let me see if I can get the brighter colors, the matte Hop. These were gifted to me by Pentel Australia. And so when you write on a black background, it gives you these lovely, really sort of like neon pop of color. And so you know, I think these were the ones that I got gifted. I think just I did have some other ones. Maybe it's me, maybe I've misplaced it somewhere else. So then I've just, you know, covered the box with the black ink and then use my Pentel matte Hop gel pens to rewrite the date on it. Okay, and then again I use Kina print stickers to embellish. So that was working out quite well the first or the last part of November. And then here I cannot find this particular one in Amazon, but I think there is one there in my stationery, fave stationery and tools ideas list. If you just put in Amazon, or I guess in Google, just put mood log stamp block, then hopefully you can find one similar. So this one is how do you feel, with the 5 different emojis, emoticons. And now I use this for how I feel at the end of the day. So this reflects how I feel at the end of the day. Okay, so just color it in. The same color code that I do is green for great, orange for good, yellow for meh, blue for tense or anxious, and pink or red for sad or anxious day. Okay, now I don't know, I think I bought this from Daiso. So I have so many, like I have so many Post-it notes. I don't know why I keep buying them. Let me have a look. Okay, so I've got these, let me zoom out a bit so it's not all just glaring. So I have these are actually travel cases. Again, I'll pop them in my description below, but you can find it. I think it's again in my fave tools. So it's a sort of like a hard case. They're supposed to be for your traveling, you know, put all your toiletries in there, but I bought them for all of my stationery, loose stationery. So look, I've got so many Post-it note, and guess what happens? I go to the shop and I look at, oh, I like that Post-it note, and again I buy it. I buy them. Look, some of them I haven't, I don't think I've even opened. All right, so I keep all my Post-it notes there. Even whoops. And so, and then I have these are 3 by 3 inch, then I have 2 by 2 inch, and so many different, even like different size ones here. And so I am hoping that I will get to use them more often in 2026 with my planning, and again, lots of, you know, sticky note flags. So then I've got all of these things here. I have to, maybe that could be my, you know, my New Year's resolution is, how many days can Marianne go without buying any Post-it notes? And so, yeah, so I think this was from Daiso or another, maybe Morning Glory stationery shop here. And so it's a grid Post-it note, different size one. So then if I have extra things to write, that's what I've been using. That's what I've been using, you know, extra tasks, you know, if the task I have written down needs to be broken up even more so, or I've even, you know, little positive affirmation. Today was hard and I'm allowed to start fresh tomorrow. So that was oh, there you go. There's my little mood log for that day. Was a hard day then, Wednesday. So I'll keep an eye out. Wednesday, so normally midweek, I do have a hard emotional moment. And so let's have a look. Here, I've used it again as a little, you know, add a bit of color. So if you're getting bored with your planner page, you know, if you have all these Post-it notes, go and rip it off and then put some washi tape. And I think here as well, I did, you know, I create a border around it. So there's just a solid line there. And then I use dashed mark here. It looks like it's stitching. So if you let me know in the chat right now if you have lots of post-it notes that are sitting in your stationery stash being unused. Okay, so if you have post-it notes and maybe your planner spread is, you know, too small for it, okay, you can cut it up. Right, so what I've done with some of my smaller post-it note, I've got my metal ruler, my craft knife, very gently, you know, very slowly trimmed the post-it notes to size. So if you are going to fit it in a column, you know, that's a lot narrower, and maybe your post-it note, this one was the perfect size. That's why I'm so glad I found it in my post-it note stash. It's the perfect size, whether I use the shorter one, mid-size, and the long one. And so instead of maybe just, you know, writing down your task or to-do list, add a little bit of color, post it, you know, the adhesive is only on the top part. So go and use washi tape to stick it down, put stickers. So if you are finding you're feeling stuck in your planner setup and, you know, you don't want to buy any new one or want to invest in a new planner, post-it notes are your friend. Okay, so post-it notes, post-it note, again, washi tape, stickers. And so I've got all these stickers that I printed and created and I'm not using, or stickers that I'm somehow I think I've heard this, or you know, I heard other people with their stickers, they don't want to use it. So they buy all these sticker sheets of cute little stickers, but they don't want to use it because I guess it's sort of like it's permanent. It's, you know, once you've stuck it on your page and then you no longer look at it, you can't admire it. But that's why flipping through your planner pages is really one of those happy dopamine moments. Okay, so there we go, Saturday, Sunday, then the start of December. Now, what I've been doing, because I'm planning ahead what I want to do for 2026 content creation wise, and I've realized that, you know, my moods and emotions do get the better of me. And when I don't plan intentionally, especially for my content creation, I can procrastinate. I can sit on the couch and do nothing and then, you know, stay up all night on catching up. And so what I've done is I've created myself, I printed out on, you know, all these lovely bright post-it notes, you know, the daily things I want to do for my content creation, planning ahead. And so this is a pen board or pencil board for the Hobonichi weeks. I think that because this is just a generic one, as in, you know, it's not printed by artists. I think this is an all year pencil board. So I use it not only as a page marker, but a way to put all of my little post-it notes. So then, of course, here before Sunday for my brain dump, I pop that there, I finish that there, all the things that I need to do leading up to it. So now I know I work better when I plan ahead. And, you know, even as a planner, you're probably going, isn't that what you're doing, Marianne, planning ahead? Probably for the last couple of years, when I do plan, I go and plan, and then midweek I sort of like, you know, fall off the wagon and then don't touch my planner for, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday, you know, I'm rejuvenated and I come back to it, and then the planner guilt comes in. So I'm going to see if this works. So what I've done is I have printed on post-it notes. So let me know if you have a printer and have you tried printing on post-it notes. So I just use Canva. I've got the layout of where I need to put my post-it notes or sticky notes, and then I create the text within that box, and then I print all these different things. Now, I originally saw this idea because you know, I was a homeschooling mom in 2019, so I followed a lot of homeschooling accounts and teacher accounts, and also purchased, you know, printables from Teachers by Teachers. Yeah, so you can print on post-it note. Not all printers can print on post-it note, because some printers may eat it up and just block your printer. So if you know your printer well and it can print on post-it note, this could be some things you can do instead of rewriting tasks or to-dos that you do on a regular basis. Then you can go and print them up. So I've got my content rhythm, what I would like to post, because I used to do this when I first started Instagram. I created the same sort of type of reels or content on Monday. So it's like there's a good rhythm, and then somehow I fell off the wagon. I was just posting as I went, but I want to have a nice content rhythm for my reels and shorts. What I need to do today. So today, here I am doing a 5 a.m. I'm going to need to post something on Instagram, light admin only, and creative play, and making sure I'm walking and looking after myself. And, the whole point of doing these tasks is for, of course, my YouTube, AdSense, and be visible. So each day I have created what my focus is and what the outcome should be. And then here's all my, Monday live promo checklist. Okay, so now when I am feeling like, how I started today's live stream, feeling quite emotional, I can just tell myself, all right, Marianne, take a break, take it easy, have a look at your little post-it notes and seeing what is it that you can do. Just do one thing. If not everything gets done, just do one thing. So these so far have been working well, because when I do feel anxious or I'm procrastinating, I can just pick out one thing from my post-it notes and I can write it down. Okay, so more post-it notes here. Let me just pop this. And then, of course, I also printed in tiny 2x2 inch post-it note. I have, let me show you. Also, like, I have to go and write down my analytics. So, how many visits to my shop, the total sales, top product, what the AdSense brought in, what my Amazon affiliate brought in, and just a one sentence noticing. So that's just something that I instead of me checking my analytics every single minute of the day and driving me nuts because no one's watching, no one's here, it's not enough, haven't made enough, and then driving myself crazy, I've created a little post-it note for my analytics. Okay, so here's a cute little tip as well. If you run out of room, because of course the Hobonichi original doesn't have a lot of space, and then I needed to write down these are invoices that I needed to claim for my son's therapy, and I've run out of space. And so what I did, I used the post-it note. Okay, and then because of course it's got a sticky backing, and then so I just glued it to a an offcut of a nice printed cardstock, just added some cute little stickers that I had been lying around in a sticker pad. And then these little things here, I'll make sure I add, if it is in Amazon, this is the Campus brand Choi Plus, and it's a little sticker that you can add to add extra pieces of paper, okay, to your page. So then you can create these little flaps like this, okay, and then so one side you stick to whatever you're sticking, and then the other side you stick to the page, and it gives you this little door-like effect of additional pages that you go and add to your page if you have run out of room. Because I went, I need to know these information, because invoice numbers, and I didn't want to just write it on a random page. So if you have like a picture, maybe you want to print a picture of the day of your kids, of your pet, and you've run out of space, or you can even, if you wanted, have a picture of your family or something that brings you joy, stick it to the front, and then when you are planning along, it could be also your little habits and routines. So if you don't want to go print on post-it notes, so then when you're flipping to your new pages, it sits there on the side of your planner. Isn't that cool? So have a look. This is, I think I also have a version. I have to find it in my little zipper pouch. There's also like ring binder graphics. So these ones are your cute little bulldog clips, and they have this little casing. Okay, and then you can have a nice little door where if you are starting a new planner and you're doing color coding, or you have little markings that you're just starting out, if you're a bullet journaler, you can create a little flap just like this, add it to your page, and then when you don't need to use it, close it up, go and put it on a nice little cardstock so it's still pretty. Okay, and then you can have that there. So for me, it was just additional notes because I had run out of room, but you can now fold that back. But that's a really good idea. Imagine if you had a cute little, even if it's a big picture of your furry pets, your animals, your children, or a nice little quote of, if you're using intentions or word of the year, just to help ground you. Wouldn't that be a nice little addition? If you think so, give me a tap like on this screen right now, and then that way I know that maybe you can try that. Okay, so there's very different other versions. So that's what it is. There's the back. It shows you in the instructions how you can peel it and add it to your page, and now you've got that extra little door. So Kokuyo, Campus, Choi Plus, and you can get different versions. So I'll make sure, if it is in my Amazon, it's available Amazon, to add it into the description. Now let's quickly have a look. And so with my post-it notes, because I've printed quite a few already, then I have ahead of time already popped those. So on every Monday, I've got that. And then every new week, when I do my first Sunday of the month brain dump, I've already got all my post-it notes stuck on my pages ahead of time. So guess what I don't have to do? I don't have to, excuse me, I don't have to go and try and figure out what checklist I need to do. So if you have any tasks or routines that you do on a regular basis, maybe for your work, and you have a printer that allows you to print on post-it note, go and just, so this is just, normal. I didn't even make it pretty. I just did whatever font, typed it on a little checklist. And then, so then that way, ahead of time, okay, after the Monday, I've got to post an Instagram story letting people know that the replay is up. So I don't have to think too much, use up my brain power. It's just the same way that, all these big CEOs, your Mark Zuckerbergs, your Steve Jobs, if you've ever wondered why they wear the same tops or same T-shirts all the time, is because they have taken part of their day to remove any decision making and just having wear the same thing over and over again. It's the same way that, for those who work outside of the home and have, outfits of the day, they plan ahead of time. So maybe the night before, you already lay out what top, pants, skirt, shoes, accessories you're going to wear. So then in the morning, when, your brain probably hasn't, turned on properly yet, you don't have to make any big decision because it's been laid out. It's been intentionally planned ahead already. And then this is what these post-it notes are going to do for me. So if you don't have a printer that can print on post-it notes, just print on a blank piece of paper, different squares that maybe you can cut to size. And because if it's a weekly prompts, you don't have to, print up so much. And then what you can do is just, get a washi tape and post that already at the beginning of your week. Now, wouldn't that be a great idea? You wake up on a Monday morning and then it says, okay, these are the things that I have to do today. Oh, I've got to go drink water. I've got to stretch. I've got to journal. I've got to go for a walk. I've got to go and make sure that I'm taking a break. See here, like, this one on Sunday, you know, after this week's live stream on Sunday, I gotta go and put an Instagram story to say, hey, see you tomorrow for, you know, that week's plan with me. Okay, so let me know if this is giving you any ideas at all. So the December calendar, I'm already in it. The daily pages, not yet, because it doesn't start up until 1st of January, but I have been playing around with old planner pages. And then, of course, we're going to set this up after we've gone through the flip through of how I'm easing into my Hobonichi cousin. All right, so let me just pop that there. So that's where we are. I popped it in here, so then it feels like already I'm in the Hobonichi 2026. So it's a little bit, you know, a little bit chunky, and it protrudes out a bit, but that's okay. So gives me an opportunity to ease into my 2026 planner. But again, if you have 2026 planners and you're itching to get into it, and you have a photo a copier, a photo printer, or copy paper, or copy machine, whatever it's called, then you can go and just lay flat an empty spread and then just practice. So you don't actually have to, you know, plan the whole week, but just practice some layouts. And then you go, oh, you know, you can even practice what markers you're going to use. As you can see here, some of my hand lettering, you know, let's see. So there's my hand lettering there. I tried, you know, the hand lettering font, not too sure. And then I tried the uppercase, not too sure as well. And then I thought, hey, I can do a nice little cursive writing. And I think that's how I'm going to use that, highlight what day of the week it is, and then just use my highlighter. And then even here, I used a thinner felt tip pen. I used a thicker one. So I don't know if I want this. I probably would want a thicker one if I have a black. I don't think for the new year I'm going to be covering the dates. You know, for all this time, I may just use it as an embellishment on a week, you know, a weekly spread, but not each and every day, because that's going to take up too much time and it'll use up all of my ink. Okay, so you can do that by, yeah, just like I said, going and photocopying a blank spread or whatever new planner you have. And if you're itching to get into it before the new year starts, that's a really good way. So here I have the Hobonichi cousin with the black cover with the baby blue lining and the cover on cover. Again, I have an idea on how to embellish this, so this is not how it's going to stay for 2026. It's just, yeah, because these covers are so expensive, and you know, I have one, two, three, I think 3 or 4 of them, and I don't want to buy any new ones. And the new artwork on the new covers, I'm not into the whatever the graphics, because I think some of them have cats. I don't have a cat, and so even though, you know, I don't have a cat, you don't have to have a cat to buy one, but I want it to reflect my life. So the cover, I've just got, as you can see, again, lots of sticky note flags, some Happy Planner Classic, or some stickers that are transparent stickers. Again, just any scrap laminated sheet. So if you're ever going, how can I decorate my, you know, cover that has all these pockets? If you've got any cute transparent stickers, right, just grab them and then do it that way. All right, so we have the Hobonichi. I don't know if I will decorate the front, maybe not. And I've just got a Filofax magnetic ollie clip there. Why is that being closed? Oh, because that's keep a page marker to get me to my future log right away. Okay, so just some cardstock, printed cardstock, and then again a photo of hubby and I. I don't think I'll do anything to, I don't think I'll, maybe, I don't know, I'll just keep it as is. I don't think I'll do anything to the calendar spread. And then the future log for this one, for the Hobonichi cousin, again, it doesn't start until January, so I've just cut up you know, December one from 2024's cover, and Yeah, and it worked out that there was, I think, a month there that had Monday the 1st, so that corresponds with December 1st, Monday, and to the 31st. So I've just cut that up. Again, I've just glued it to a blank piece of paper because it has print on the back. Put a nice little washi tape border, some nice little stickers that I found. And the way I'm going to use the future log for the Hobonichi cousin is as a tracker for my habits and routines for the 7 key areas of focus. So meditation, tidying up, learning, movement, connecting, expenses, priorities. And I've also did add a for one column, my mood, so then I can see again the correlation with how I'm feeling to how well I've actually actioned the habits and routines. I have actioned these, I just got to fill it in. Okay, so again, there's that flap there. I just washi taped it or glued it into place. And then for the the calendar spread, this is where I'm going to be putting all, events, personal events, special occasions, birthdays, when bills need to get paid, things for the boys, things for the family. And so really that's what this is for. So I'm keeping the content creation task and to-dos off this, and then of course using Kina prints for the different birthdays that's coming along. I've already popped in some of the, because you know how when you get a new planner and then you go, oh, I really want to start it, I don't want to wait until the new year. So of course you do the best you can to sort of embellish them along. Okay, so again, the weekly spread does not start until the 29th of December. So not too long, another 3 or so, 3 weeks. Let's have a look. Where are we? Yeah, 3 weeks. So we are on the 8th, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, after 3 weeks, then I can start writing in the weekly spread of the Hobonichi cousin. So again, I've torn up pages from my old planner, and then I just put a cardstock to as a little cover page. So I'll go through that in a sec. But it does not start until the weekly spread doesn't start until 29th of December, and then the daily pages does not start until 1st of January. But I have already put in there my 2026 goals, Wheel of Life goals tracker, and a habit tracker. So this is available in my shop. So if you have a Hobonichi or just any A5 planner, notebook, whether it's a blank one or it's a dated one, and you want to have a habit tracker, I don't know if I've got that in the, I don't think I have that I can't type it in the chat, but check my shop at mariannecresp.com and just put Hobonichi in the search bar, and you will be able to find not only the Wheel of Life goals tracker, but also the habit tracker. It has crop markings, so you can crop it to size. And then what I did is I just added washi tapes and then of course embellished it. And so just got to fill in Saturday and Sundays, the habits that I have completed using my Kuretake Z Clean Color Dot Marker. So for example, I got myself outside. I had breakfast, got myself outside, okay? All these different things, and I'll make sure that I fill in the rest as I go, right? Okay, and then of course, that's how I'm going to continue my habit tracking in my Hobonichi cousin. So it doesn't start until 1st of January, but guess what? I've been able to go and play around with it already. So for the weekly spread, I'm not using it in the traditional way as a time blocking, again, only because, look, I even tried again on another blank spread by doing that and maybe writing my task or to-dos, in here, but it was just like, I know I won't be able to keep up with it. So the spread that I'm using is creating all these different frames for my running to-do list, my focus areas, notes, clean workout, and then just using the top part of the weekly vertical columns for my top priorities or any of my known events or timed events. I just see something here. Did I write my newsletter? Maybe not. Okay. All right. So that was November 20. Oh, that should be 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. That should be November 24th. Okay, that's all right. That's okay. We can change that. We can cover it up. And then December. So this is how I have set up December 1st to the 8th. So this was last week. And I did show on my live stream, last week's live stream, how I set this up, you know, doing the frames and then using stickers. So really make your pages colorful. And I do like this setup. And I'll probably just change, you know, to keep the novelty and not doing the same thing over and over again, which is, I know for myself, is one of the things that makes it, you know, not as fun anymore if I'm doing exactly the same thing over and over. So I will just change the layout here. The running to-do list is the full page, and then the next week I broke it into task and content. Okay, my focus area habit tracker was on the left side, the week before on the right side, using different markers to highlight the you know, make it pretty. And then, so I've already started, see, look, because I've just cut it up, it's coming apart off my, so maybe I'll put a washi tape to keep it together, because I have to be in this little planner for the next 3 weeks until I get into the new one. So I already created my running to-do list because we did a brain dump yesterday using, and I put my known tasks and events in my running to-do list. But because I'm not using the running to-do list in an A5 ring planner, so if you didn't watch that, go back to my live for my brain dump. Oops. Oh no. Okay, my battery has exhausted. Well, that's going to be really bad, because how am I going to show you my, because I've changed settings. I've changed up settings in my, oh my goodness. This morning is just a bit of, okay. So I don't know. Let me see if I can see how I'm going to do this. I don't think I can do this. I wonder if I can go and do this. We may have to cut this thing short and come back. So that's, I'm really upset because of course I changed up settings on my camera, and now the battery is not you know, what you might call it. Let me see if I can hang on a tick and see if I can go and do something as we go. Do something. Can we do something? I don't know if I can have, maybe not. For the moment, we may have to go off screen. I don't know if I can, no, I don't have anything else plugged in. Well, ladies and gents, I think for the moment we may have, I might come back and just let that, I'm upset now because I don't know why in the past I was able to go and live stream for 3 hours and the battery wouldn't die. See, this is the thing. If things ain't broken, don't mess up with it, Marianne. So look, what we might have to do, I might have to come back and create a new live stream. But I appreciate you all being here. Thank you so much for joining and allowing me having my little emotional release at the beginning. But I appreciate you, and I'll come back. I'll see you. I'll come back and I'll let the battery. I'll figure out what's going on with my camera, because that's a little bit upsetting that it didn't last as long. I wonder what happened. All right. Thank you so much for joining. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.